8 minutes to 1 now. We're trying to gauge your experiences of the rail strike today. Give us a call. How is it affecting you? 03700 100 444. Only around a fifth of services are running, with services in Scotland and Wales really severely disrupted, and in other parts of the UK, as we've been hearing. We've also been hearing from people who were relying on trains to get to hospital, for surgery, to get to school, for exams, for business reasons. There are more coach services running, though, for people who are casting around for alternatives. Graham Vidler's on the line. He's the Chief Executive for the Confederation of Passenger Transport. It brings together the bus and coach companies. Graham, how are the train strikes affecting the bus and coach companies then? Is it an opportunity for you all?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think the first thing to say is it's very frustrating to hear the stories of the difficulties that your listeners and many others across the country are having today. We're running bus and coach networks as normal, putting on extra services where we can, and encouraging people to plan their journeys ahead, and in particular for coach journeys to book ahead, because capacity is very, very limited. And as much as we'd like to put on more services, we're limited in our ability to do so because our drivers are fully occupied at what is already a very busy time of year.
You heard Simon Calder, I think, if you were listening, talking about, a lot of the trains, they're not at all full. Have people booked onto the coaches already, do you think?
Yes, most national coach companies have seen an increase in bookings for this week of around 75 to 85%. Where they see coaches filling up on existing services, they are trying to put on additional capacity as well. So if people want to travel by coach later in the week, I would encourage them to plan ahead and book as early as they possibly can.
There are more strikes planned, aren't there, in July? Are you already planning around them?
Yes, our operators have been planning for this strike for some time. We're planning ahead for the next strike and possible subsequent strikes. But again, our ability to put on additional services is limited by the fact that our drivers are fully occupied already, and we can only pick up a very small proportion of passengers who would otherwise travel by rail.
We had you on the programme when you couldn't get enough drivers. I think we were talking about buses then. That was when the lockdowns ended.
Yeah.
It's still a problem, is it?
Yes, operators are working really hard in the bus and coach sector, as they are in every other sector of the economy, to attract new people into the industry. We're seeing lots of improvements, lots of growth in things like apprentice programs, but we've still got slightly fewer drivers than we need, and the ones we've got are very, very busy at this time of year.
More coaches on the road mean more congestion, though, don't they?
Not as much as the alternative, which is more cars on the road.
Yes, everyone take their own car. Yeah.
If you're thinking of going to something like, I don't know, the Festival of Speed in Goodwood, a coach can get 50 or 60 people there, whereas a car obviously can only get 4 or 5. So it's much less additive to congestion than the alternative.
How do the prices compare then?
The prices of
going by bus, as opposed to going on the train. I guess it depends when you book, does it? Is it dynamic pricing like the trains are now?
Yes. So coach pricing is typically very, very competitive and typically cheaper than rail for the equivalent journey. As you say, the pricing is dynamic, and it's the cheapest seats which go earliest. On lots of routes, lots of those seats have already been sold. But again, the sooner people are able to book, whether it's for this strike or in anticipation of future strikes, the more likely they are to be able to get those really cheap tickets.
Graham Vidler, Chief Executive for the Confederation of Passenger Transport. Thanks very much. How is the road